This week, we'll be going over all 23 achievements in Half-Life 2 Episode 2. I've made videos going over all of the achievements in the Half-Life 2 family of games, so I'll have the link to the playlist with all of those in the description below. And if you're new here, we post weekly videos all generally centered around achievement hunting. So, if you like this video, hit the like button and consider subscribing so that you don't miss out on future videos. Now with all of that out of the way, let's get into it. Starting out, we'll be going through getting all of the achievements in one playthrough other than one, which we'll be doing a second playthrough for. As soon as you open the game, you'll get the Gnome Alone achievement because Gabe Newell is a bit of a memer.
We're going to launch a 3D printed titanium gnome into space.
And actually launched a real-life Noam Chomsky into space.
And there goes the fairing, and welcome to space, Mr. Noam Chomsky.
Now getting into actually starting the game, the first achievement you'll get is Grave Robber for stealing a Zombine's grenade. For this, all you'll have to do is use your gravity gun to pull a live grenade from a Combine zombie. You'll have multiple areas throughout the game where you could do this, so if you don't get it at the beginning, just remember that you need to get it later on. Now once you get into the antlion caves, you'll be able to start working on the Get Some Grub achievement for squishing every antlion grub in episode 2. There are 333 grubs in total and some of them are easily missable. It takes a while to go through all of these, so I made a video specifically on this achievement showing every single grub's location. Then we have Acid Reflex for killing an acid antlion worker. These are the smoother green glowing antlions that like to sit back and shoot acid at you. You should get this one naturally as you start going through the antlion caves. For Deadly Harvest, you'll need to kill an enemy by planting a hopper mine. Once you get to the Vorticoil chapter, you'll have to defend Alex and a Vortigaunt from waves of antlions. Here there will be a crate of hopper mines that you can pick up and plant throughout the mine shafts to get this kill. Then once the waves are over, you'll get the Into the Breach achievement for helping Griggs and Sheckley hold off the antlion invasion inside the mineshaft. This one is story related, so there's no missing it. For Pinata Party, you'll need to find and break every web cache in episode 2. I guess the antlions forgot to clear their cache and cookies. Most of these are pretty obvious, but the very first one is right after you come into this cave area with water. When you go underwater the first time, you'll need to look off to the left and break this webbed area where a body is stuck to activate the first cache. You won't have any more until after you get through the antlion waves. Then once you get through those and go back into more caves, you'll come up to this second web cache pretty early on. Then shortly after that one, you'll find the third web cache. The fourth one will be on the left after the larger open area. Your fifth web cache will be slightly farther up and in the ceiling. Careful with this one though, as a live grenade will fall down from the cache when you break it. Then it'll be a bit before you come up to any more of the caches, but once you get to the large area where the broken elevator is, you'll find the last 4. There will be 2 sitting in the walls and then another 2 up in the ceiling. One thing to note about this achievement is that most of these web caches, other than the first one, are required for you to break to get the Get Some Grub achievement. So they kind of go hand in hand, but just make sure you get that first web cache. Now for Twofer, you'll need to defeat both antlion guards outside the White Forest. This one is pretty quick and easy to do if you pick up the explosive barrels and launch them at them. Bonus points if you can kill them both at the same time, so let me know down in the comments if you end up pulling that off as well. Bone Breaker is for killing 30 enemies with thrown physical objects. There are a few different areas with zombies throughout the game, so these are great places to grind this one out. You can get a lot of the kills required for this whenever you go inside of this warehouse before getting the car. Then once you have the car, you can start working on Hit and Run for running over 20 enemies with the car in episode 2. For this one, you'll have a good amount of time to rack up the kills, so just try to get them as you can and you should eventually pick this one up. During your first main stop after getting the car, you'll be able to get Meet the Hunters for surviving the Hunter ambush with Alex. When they show up, you also have a good opportunity to get the Payback achievement for killing a hunter with its own flechettes. You can do this by picking up one of the tires, allowing them to shoot it, and then launching it back at them. You may have to do this a few times before it kills one. Then for Hot Potatoed, you'll need to kill a Combine soldier with his own grenade. You can get this in multiple areas throughout the game as well, but basically just once one of them throw a grenade at you, just pick it up and launch it back at them. Or really, just picking it up and running at them with it will work as well, so do what you gotta do. Then once you outrun the Hunter Chopper, you'll have to destroy it. While doing this, you could get the Puttin On a Clinic for defeating the chopper without any misses. By that it just means, as it's dropping the mines, you'll need to pick them up and shoot it back at it once it slows down. Just be sure not to miss any when you're shooting them, and you'll get the achievement. For Gunishment, you'll need to destroy the Combine autogun in the junkyard. For this, you'll basically just sneak your way up to the building where the autogun is, drop in through the roof, and toss a grenade in the control panel to blow it up. Then at your next stop with the car, you can get Quiet Mountain Getaway for surviving the ambush at White Forest Inn. Here, you'll run into a barrier, fight off some Combine, and then run back up to take down the power in order to proceed. Now before that achievement, but after Gunishment, you'll be able to start picking up Lambda caches for the Cache Checker achievement.
Stop the car, Gordon.
You'll have a radar put on your car that will beep whenever you get close to one, and the first one will be inside of this van shortly after you get the car back after Gunishment. Then the second one will be inside of this building where you climb through another van wedged in the wall. This one is also where you'll get the Gordon Propelled Rocket achievement for unlocking the rocket launcher Lambda cache in the chapter Under the Radar. In order to actually get this one, you're gonna need to pull this metal panel down, throw a grenade underneath it, stand on the edge, and when the grenade blows up, it'll launch you up to the control panel upstairs. Here you can pull the lever to open the cage down below to pick up the rocket launcher and that second cache. For the third cache, you'll need to rip up the floorboards in the small shack in the middle of the large storage crates. Then for the fourth one, it's going to be on the other side of the tunnel to the left of the road. You'll come up to a fallen down tree with a small cave behind it. Go inside the cave, and you'll find this cache. Then we have the last cache to the right of the road further down. You'll see a tree leaning over from the cliff above with a small platform hanging off of it. Just shoot the boxes on the platform and it will break open the cache. And now for the last stop before we actually reach White Forest, we'll meet up with Dog. After he clears the roadblock, Alex will challenge him to a race and you'll have to beat him to the compound for the Pedal to the Metal achievement. This isn't too hard to do, but make sure you drive straight into these wooden posts as it won't count if you don't do that. After you talk to Magnuson, he'll task you with closing up the launch doors of Missile Silo 2. This will get you the secondary silo secured achievement as soon as the launch doors are closed completely. Shortly after that, it'll be time for the Strider attack. You'll be able to get Defense of the Armament for saving the missile silo from the Combine offensive. This one isn't too bad, just make sure the Striders don't make it all the way to the missile silo. And now, what makes this part a little bit harder is going to be for the Neighborhood Watch achievement for saving all of the buildings outside the missile silo from destruction. That means you can't have a single building get destroyed during this battle. Because this one is a bit hard to get, I made a video going in depth on what to do throughout this whole situation to make it much easier for you. And now for the last achievement, we have Little Rocket Man for sending the Garden Gnome into space. This is what we'll be doing a second playthrough for, as you'll have to play through the entire game while carrying a Garden Gnome with you. This one is also one of the harder ones, so instead of doubling the length of the video, I decided to put out a guide going in depth on how to get this achievement specifically. And with that, we now have 100% of the achievements in Half-Life 2 Episode 2. I also just put my Patreon back up, so feel free to become a patron if you'd like to. Currently, the main benefits are just supporting the channel, getting special roles in the community Discord, and having your name or username added to a credits section at the end of my videos. Feel free to throw in any suggestions of other benefits you'd like to see on there, as I'd like to flesh it out more and make it a little more worth it for you guys. And like always, if you liked the video or found it helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below with what games you'd like me to cover next.